Hey guys, so today in America is coming out day, so I thought I'd talk a bit about that. I mean, I I myself am, I wouldn't say totally gay because I'm gender fluid, but I only date women, so a bit hard to define what I am. But I'm into chicks, and I'm also not a chick. Not really sure how to define myself anymore. But I fit into the spectrum of queer as fuck. We're gonna go with that. I mean, I've been out for a few years now. I came out as a lesbian when I was about 18 and as gender fluid when I was around 23. And sometimes it was harder than other times, sometimes it was quite easy. Because coming out is a bit of a process, and it's a process that you have to do constantly. Every time you're in a new job or a new situation and someone makes an assumption, you kind of have to correct them. You don't have to, but it makes more sense, it's easier. But for some people, that's not always the easiest thing. I mean, I'm lucky. I'm in a pretty accepting country, I'm in a pretty accepting community. But when I was younger, it didn't feel that way. I've known I was gay since I was 15, maybe younger. But I couldn't tell anyone. I didn't feel like I could. I didn't feel safe enough. I didn't know anyone who was gay, or I didn't think I did. And so I feel like it's important to be coming out and doing this video in some ways for my younger self, so that if there's someone out there who's like, I don't know who I am, or I don't know anyone who's queer like me, that there is actually someone like that. I mean, I've had some really interesting experiences with coming out. I used to be so scared of telling anyone. To it was the big secret that a few of my friends knew, to my friends making jokes about it when we're bowling, going, oh, can't you do anything straight? Or this joke was even made in front of my boss at work one day when we were changing a sticker. And I was like, and she was like, can you put the sticker on straight? And I was like, well, according to some people, I can't do anything straight. She walked off laughing. So it became safe. But that's one job. I did another job where it was incredibly homophobic. I got fired from working with children in my church because I was gay. I've faced some discrimination, but I've also faced a lot of acceptance. And I think it's important to talk about these things. And I think it's important to be out there so that people know it is safe. Because to being fired from the children's church is one small example. Especially seeing as how accepting everyone else at my church is. I'm not as totally with my church anymore. Things have changed there, but that's another story entirely. But I'm well accepted in the church. They accepted my name change, they accepted my gender, they accepted my girlfriend at one point. They did not accept her, there's just no girlfriend anymore. So it was fine. Whereas in the job where I had where it was homophobic was a small thing, and honestly that job had a lot of problems. In many, many ways. And honestly that was a very small thing. That was just the people there sucked. Whereas I go to this job and there are people wanting to know about my life. Where it's absolutely safe, where they'll tease me about girls, about checking girls out as they walk past. It's a safe job. But coming out is something that has to be done a lot. When I get into a new situation, people are like, oh, do you have a boyfriend? Well, no, I'm really not into that. Or they'll call me she, and I'm like, no, that's not really how I identify. I used to work with kids a lot, as I've just mentioned, and people would question, you look like a boy, or you're really into boys things, or so explaining to them in a simplistic way that didn't really matter, that I could do both, I could be both. That was something that was interesting. That was probably the hardest one. But I think it's just important for people to know. It's important that those that can speak out and make sure that it's safe for those that are following us, to be a good example. And one day, hopefully, everyone will feel safe to come out, because it might be coming out day, but not everyone can. And if you're not in a situation where you can, or you don't feel comfortable yet, that's fine. But knowing who you are and knowing that there will be a time when it's safe, that's important. And us that can be out, being out and making it safer, that's really important for those people.